Feminism is a word we constantly hear in the news, on TV, on the internet, when we hold conversations with others. But what is it, and why, after so many years of loss of protection to women, is it still important? Feminism started in the Judeo-Christian world, the Western world, around the late 1700s. But it really took a change in the 1920s when the women started to vote, or many things started happening, like the women's liberation movement. Here, abortion was legalized, their feminist magazines were created. Violence to women campaigns were made, domestic violence victims started to get recognized, and rape survivors too. Now, the turning point in feminism, for me, was World War II. Why? Men started being called up to war, of course. Huge war happening. Who's gonna fight? First option is men. But then, what about work? What's gonna happen here? Well, look around. There's women too. So women start, and they start to work, and they end up liking working. Why can't we work if men can? So they stay in the work, and that's when things started to change, because women started fighting for it. They said, we can do what men can do. Now, you may be asking, well, yeah, that happened already. We work, we do everything men can. But is that really true? Now, this girl, her name is Malala Yousafzai. How many of you have heard of her? Seen pictures of her? Anything? Well, this girl was shot in the head for standing up of her right of education. A right she was not getting because she was a girl, and only for that reason, not for anything else. Her gender didn't let her get her right. And I find that incredibly unfair. And you may be thinking, well, where was she from? Yes, she was from Pakistan. And you're thinking, oh, that's one very far away, and that must have happened so long ago. Think twice, it didn't. This was 2012. Now, in Malawi, only 18% of girls attend high school because they are child brides. And that breaks my heart, because instead of getting the education they need, the education that they probably want, because who doesn't want to get educated? Learning is beautiful. They're probably staying at home with older husbands, working around the house, doing domestic things, cleaning the house, cooking, when they could be learning. And you're like, well, that's very far, that's nowhere close, but it is. And yes, we have made many advances. For example, here in the Western world, women can go to high school, and a large percent do attend high school and college. But in Latin America, only 20 to 30 years ago was that women started attending college. It's still a very significant difference, even if you may not think so. The ratio of men to women who do attend college. Feminism has come a long way in the Western world, but it's still not total equality. And we need feminism because rape culture still exists. And you're thinking, what's rape culture? It's when a victim gets the blame for the clothes she was wearing, because the short skirt she was wearing was taken as consent. Even if she was saying no, we still look at her clothes and ask, what was she wearing? Does that matter? She still didn't want it. And we're about skirts too. We're sexualized daily. Oh, your skirt is way too high. 5 fingers. It has to be 4. Put it down. But my skirt? Are my knees distracting? Dress codes in the USA prove that. Boys can wear tank tops, but you're a girl and you're wearing a tank top? is that a bra strap? That's so distracting. What are you doing? Pull it up. I can't be seeing that. That's horrifying. Is it? It's not. And we're shamed because of wearing makeup and the clothes we like, and we shouldn't be. It's just clothes and makeup. We're not fake for wearing too much makeup, or we're not prudes for wearing our skirt here, or we're not any other thing for wearing the skirt how we like. And too much makeup isn't being fake. Not makeup at all is not, oh, she's such a person that does not take care of themselves. It's not like that. It's preferences. And the most shocking thing is that when we are born, we are raised with the idea that skinny equals pretty. Nothing else. How? Why is having your collarbones showing the most beautiful thing on earth, and then it doesn't matter how you shine when you smile? How? It shouldn't happen this way. And because of these societal pressures, girls learn to hate themselves and even end up in eating disorders, depression. And that shouldn't happen. We are told to love ourselves then, to love what we have, to appreciate what we are born with. But how am I supposed to do that when I'm constantly told by a society that I am never good enough, no matter what I do, what I wear, how I act, or what I like? But it doesn't only happen for young girls, for physical things. It happens too in the workplace. A lot of women aren't hired because they're women, just because of that. They're gender too. And when they are, there's still a pay gap. And you may be thinking, what is a pay gap? Well, it's when a woman who's doing the same job as a man gets paid less. And you're thinking, well, that's like 5 pennies, that's nothing. But in America, when the average woman reaches 60 years old, she will have 450,000 US dollars less than a man. And some men are ashamed to say they earn less than a woman. And women still have to apologize for their success. And that shouldn't happen. Who has to apologize for something they've earned? And people are surprised to hear that my mom works. And she's one of the best labor and employment lawyers in Colombia. And this happens, and it still happens, because society thinks it's degrading to be feminine. Many don't know what feminism is. It's misconceptions around it. Oh, feminism? That's all angry women who hate men. It's not like that. We want equality, not hatred. That's what we are fighting. And because of all these misconceptions happening, men are ashamed to say they're feminists. Like, I'm not a feminist. No, because they're afraid of what people who think that feminism is angry women who hate men will think. And they don't realize that feminism isn't just for women. Yes, sexism hurts boys too, even if you don't believe it. It does hurt women a lot, and of course it does. But what about all those boys told to shove their feelings down, to never ever show them? Because you can't seem feminine. Come on, you're a boy. It's ridiculous. They're human beings. And they are taught to objectify and sexualize women from a young age, to say that they're real men. But that's not true. You're not a real man if you treat a woman inferiorly. A real man doesn't do that. A real man treats her equally. And Michael Kimmel once said, "Privilege is invisible to those who have it, And I couldn't agree more. Why? Because they live in a little bubble. I'm talking about a lot of people, men mostly. And these bubbles are formed by misconceptions that shouldn't be happening. They're not aware of feminism and sexism. And they don't see the importance of being a feminist. They don't understand that. Why should I be a feminist? I'm a man, not a woman. They don't actually see that it benefits them. Feminism is important for everyone, not just women. So if you are a man, I invite you to be a feminist. Stand up against misandry, which is the hatred towards men, and stand up against misogyny, the hatred towards women. We should not be embarrassed of everyone getting their rights. They're human rights. We are all human. So stand up for it. We should be embarrassed of hating someone else because of their differences. Feminism is equality, not superiority. And I want to repeat that forever, because the misconceptions are what causes it. It's equality, not superiority. Never. Because that's what we're fighting. You cannot fight sexism with more sexism. That's impossible. Instead of fighting it, you're replacing it. You're just changing roles. So what's the point in starting to fight against something if you're going to become the it you're fighting? So we need feminism, so women and everyone can rise and reach their full potentials, fulfill their lives, get the success they need, take every opportunity, the best opportunities that are offered for them, and finally, have a voice, a powerful voice to change the world. Thank you.